how many people gonna be here? Just me and Trish. It's like am I gonna be preaching to her, and she preaches to me, back and forth. But I'm going to do something today. I sent it out on the one call yesterday. Was the title of today's sermon? You got that up there for me, buddy? What are you laboring for? What are you laboring for? Tomorrow is Labor Day, right? Do you really know what Labor Day is all about? Labor Day has a lot to do with people laboring. And whenever I was younger, I always thought this: Labor Day is a day out of school. Yes. Okay? And so we get out of school. And really what happens in 1894, there was a railroad strike, and there was some things going on. But anyway, look into it. And what happens is that the president during that time gave us the day off to honor all of the workers in the United States and saying, okay, Labor Day, in honor of Labor Day, you can have this day and make it a national holiday. So I thought that ought to be rest from laboring days, what it ought to be called, or something like that, But I started thinking about laboring. What are we laboring for? Really, realistically, why do we labor? Why do we do things that we do? And so I started thinking about things like that, and I'm 55 years old. I'll be turning 56 in January, and I started doing some things and some thinking about what my life has been doing, and I'm kind of like the old man on the job. In fact, Chris sitting back there, he calls me old man and makes fun of me that I can't hear. My body's falling apart, and if you want to know, he's sitting on the third row from the back, head up. You can smack him later on as the service stuff, because I'm really not that old. Okay, maybe I am. But anyway, a lot of things have happened. I was telling Chad, I said, I always tell the guys at work about 8-tracks. I had an 8-track player whenever I was younger. You had to like all the songs, because you had to at least listen to 4 of them to get to the next, So I saw a lot of changes in life. So I started working early on in life, and I started working delivering pizzas while I was going to college. I started college my senior year in high school. I had a full load in college. I was taking 16 credit hours. Turn the fans off for me. 16 credit hours in high school my senior year, and going to vocational school to learn a trade, to be an electrician. And so I wanted to get a job, and so I needed money. And Dad had already fired me a couple times, but anyway, that's not funny. You should never fire your son. The one person that's supposed to love you fired you. But anyway, no, I worked for him. You ever worked for your dad before? Oh, boy. It's different. Everybody else could be sitting down. Dad come in the room, you're sitting down with them, you get chewed out. But I will tell you this, that man sitting right here in the 4th row taught me work ethic, and it still holds today. Okay? So at a very early age, he taught me to go, 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 go. And just because everybody else is sitting down doesn't mean you have to sit down. You have to get up and start doing things. So I started working hard and tried to work my way up through things. And I always felt like I did pretty good, but, I started spending my money. I started getting my paycheck, and I got this much, I can buy this much with it, and I can do this with it, and so I was laboring to get things. And then as I got older, I started laboring to pay the bills of the things I got, and so laboring, a lot of things happen, and so we start looking at life, and things do, as you grow older, things change. What I realized as I was growing up, I was laboring so much that I was giving away my life. When you start talking about going to college full time and going to high school and then working, delivering pizzas, and I worked my way up, and then ended up being an area supervisor over 7 different pizza stores. So things happen in life. As you start getting older, you start wondering, okay, why am I laboring? What am I really doing in life? What am I really doing that matters in life? So I want to open up with prayer, and we're going to jump into God's Word. And today, I'll just let you know, for those of you who like to put things on Facebook about me being in the doghouse, from using my family as examples all the time, I'm going to use my wife, so I'll just go ahead and let her know. I thought she was in the nursery, so I thought I was okay. But she's on the back row, so pray for me. But mostly, I'll be using myself today as I talk about laboring. Okay, so let's pray. Father God, I come to you right now. Thanks so much for the power of prayer. Father, as we open your word and think about laboring, Father, what are we really laboring for? What are we laboring for? Father, speak to our hearts. It's not by accident that we're here. We have a divine appointment with you. And so today, the individuals are here. We're here to hear your word. Father, I pray for this weekend as we think about laboring, that we think about what are we doing? Where are we going? What kind of legacy are we leaving in our lives? Father, it's all about you. We love you. Thank you. That's in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm a firm believer in knowledge. I'm a firm believer in studying. I'm a firm believer in reading things and getting into things. And even as you get older, I went to college. I got 2 degrees. I got a degree in biblical studies, and I got a degree in business administration. But here's the deal. I also went through 4 years of apprenticeship school. So people ask me, how long did you go to school? I said, all my life. Okay? And so I've actually even thought about going back and getting my master's degree and some more training and things like that for the biblical world. But here's the deal. I was one of those go-getters. I was really trying to go. You know, I was trying to dig in and do things. And so I was working down in Wellston, and I was working at one of the plants down there, and I got moved over to another area, and I was running this job, and I got to know the owner of this building that I was putting in all this equipment. And he was relocating his business from Mansfield to Wellston. And he came up to me one day. You know, I'm a firm believer in the sovereignty of God, God being in control of all his creatures, including me, and putting people in the right place at the right time so that I have things that he wants for my life and I follow him. So this guy comes up and he goes, hey, Tony, do you know anybody around here? Because my plant manager is not going to relocate. He doesn't want to move to Wellston. And I was like, I wonder why. Okay. The only thing in Wellston at the time was old coal mines and Pillsbury. Louis Gino, they make pizza rolls. And I said, you know, it's really tough for him coming from Mansfield to there. I said, well, what's it pay? Did you hear that? That was my first question. What's it pay? He goes, well, I don't know. And he gave a figure, and I said, yeah, a little bit more. I might be interested. He goes, really? How much does it take to get you? See what I'm talking about? I'm talking about money so that I can buy things, right? That's my whole philosophy in life. And I was probably in my, I was 29 at the time. And so we started talking, and I didn't have any experience in the refractory business where they make high temperature ceramics for the steel industry and foundries and things like that. And so I really didn't know what it was, and you know, refractories, what's that stuff? So they found someone else, and they actually offered him the job, but he said no. I finished number 2. I was the number 2 guy from them, but I was the number 1 guy from God. And so they called me up and said, hey, we talked to this individual. He turned the thing down. And so, would you be interested in taking this job? I said, well, what's it pay? Let's talk money. And so they started talking money, and I take the job. I actually called my boss. I was working for an electrical contractor here in town, SOS, and I called Charlie Shear, a friend of mine. I said, hey, should I take this job? He said, you're stupid if you don't. I said, but I'll be walking away from your company. He goes, I'm okay. You know, we've made it without you before. You know? I thought that was really important to you. And so I started working for this company, and things were going really well. Things were going really well. And I worked for him for over 7 years. And about 6 years into it, I'm sitting at the owner's country club. He always had the sales meetings there. And I was supportive staff for the salesman. And so we were sitting around the table kind of waiting, and John Johnson, who's our owner, was never late. 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, half hour goes by. We're still all sitting around. One of the guys gets up about 15 minutes and goes to try to find out what's happening. And he comes back in half hour later and says, John has passed away. He died putting socks on and getting ready to come in. He had a massive heart attack sitting in his chair, and he still had the socks in his hand. And he left 2 kids. His wife had just previously died the year before from cancer. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking, Trish and I will go to this funeral over in Pittsburgh. Mr. Johnson was Catholic. If you've never been to a Catholic funeral, he was there for like a week. Okay? I'm just kidding, but it was a long funeral. And I started thinking about things. You know, I started thinking about life. I started reading my Bible. At the time I was a Gideon, and Harley Scott was a dear friend of mine. He got me involved in the Gideons, and I had a pocket Gideon New Testament, just like this one, in my desk, in my office. And I read that thing from cover to cover. And when things get tough, I just go in there and I pull that thing out. Now, I'd have a hard time reading this now, because how small the letters are. But I read that thing, and I started doing some searching. And I started wondering, where was I going? What was I laboring for? Because truly, Trish and I was blessed. I mean, we were really blessed. We had a lot of possessions that we just thought, you know what, that'd be nice. Let's go buy that. You know, literally, I had a bonus check, and I bought a new Harley, a brand new Harley with a bonus check. I was making over 6 figures in a company car, flying all over the place. And I don't know if you know anything about Pittsburgh, but if you ever heard of the Duquesne Club, you have to be a millionaire in order to be able to be a member there. We was eating at the Duquesne Club about once a month, and you know, getting to rub elbows with some people that I thought were important. And then this guy dies. This $1 million business is now floating. So I started doing some searching in God's Word, and I want you to take your Bibles and turn to Ecclesiastes chapter 2. I started wondering, okay, where was I going? Where was I headed to? What did God want from me was even more important. What did God really want from me? And so I was reading my Bible at home, I was reading my Bible at work, and I was really finding myself drawing closer to God because I was getting in the center of His will for my life. Did you hear that? I was reading my Bible and God was drawing me closer. And this is what I ran across, and this is something that I'm a firm believer of today. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verses 18 through 23. This Bible reads this way. And this is the smartest man ever who wrote Ecclesiastes, right? Solomon, okay? The one thing he asked for from God was wisdom. And God loaded him up. And look, as he's getting older in life, and this is what he says. Thus I hated all the fruit of my labor, for which I have labored under the sun, for I must leave it to the man who will come after me. Did you hear that? You're working to make someone else stop. You could die just like John Johnson, sitting in your chair, and someone else is going to have all your stuff. Look at verse 19. And who knows whether he will be a wise man or a fool? Yet he will have control over all the fruit of my labor, which I have labored by acting wisely under the sun. This too is vanity. Therefore I completely despaired of all the fruit of my labor for which I have labored under the sun. When there is a man who has labored with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, then he gives his legacy to one who has not labored with him. This too is vanity and a great evil. For what does a man get in all his labor and in his striving which he labors under the sun, because all his days his task is painful and grievous. Even at night his mind does not rest. This too is vanity. As a plant manager, I go home thinking about the plant. Even though I was sitting at home with my family, I was thinking about the plant. When I was an electrician, I knew people would take the blueprints home so they could study them and be better. And I said, please, I'll never take it home. Guess what? I was taking it home anyway in my head. And so I started thinking about things in my mind, and even I started thinking about things here at church, and at times I can't shut it off. I wish there was a switch that I could just shut down. And so my wife goes, what are you thinking about? Well, and I don't want to trouble her about things, and something's bothering you. Yeah, something's bothering me, but it's all be all right. So things are in my head, and it's rolling and rolling and rolling, and I started wondering, okay, what am I laboring for? What am I getting out of it besides a lot of lost sleep, a lot of driving? Have you ever drove and got somewhere and go, I hope I didn't run any red lights because I don't remember even getting here? Because your mind was on something? And I've been there, just like you. Solomon says it's vanity. I realized, listen to me, I was working, and we had pretty much whatever we want. And I realized, other than my family, none of the other stuff mattered. Really. None of the other stuff mattered. I really didn't care about the house. It was okay. I didn't care about the car, about the motorcycle, or any of those things. It really didn't matter. So I was growing closer to God, and I got involved in the church. I started serving the church. I started serving the Lord through the local church, and that's why we asked you to be members so you can serve right here. So then I started serving the church, and they said, all right, so I was already a deacon. I was already ordained deacon. I was already a Sunday school teacher, and they said, hey, we need someone to work with the youth. I was like, I still got it. I can do that. So I called him. I said, hey, formerly Chris Thacker was there, and he was involved in the youth and building the youth group up, and he did a wonderful job, and then something happened. And so they'd been without a youth pastor for 2 years. Chris filled in for a while, and then they didn't have anybody, so I said, I think I'd like to be your youth pastor. So guess what? They interviewed me, and they said, nah. We'd rather have someone with some experience, dynamic speaker. I told you that last week, remember? They said, we need somebody to come in and just hit the ground running and just build these. And I was like, oh, God. They said, would you please keep doing it until we find that person? I said, oh, you want me to, what? I wasn't good enough to do it, but yet you wanted me to do it. So guess what? We prayed about it, Chris and I. We said, we'll just keep doing it. Moron. That's what we thought God wanted us to do. So we kept doing it. Even though the personnel committee interviewed me and said, nah. So things started happening. So take your Bibles, turn over to the left a little bit, go to Psalms 37:4. This is one of my favorite life verses right here. I used it, I put it on the list of scripture that's on the stands as you go out. Psalm 37:4. I found this when I was reading my Papa New Testament, because there's a New Testament and Psalm. Okay, it has Psalms and Proverbs in there. And I ran across this verse. And delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. So I'm thinking, yeah. You know how you start thinking when you're young? I start serving the Lord, and He's going to give me the desires. I'm desiring that nice big house. I'm desiring. And I started thinking about faith. And that's not really what it means. What it means is you start delighting yourself in the Lord, and what happens is you start getting on God's page, and he starts saying, okay, I'm going to start using you in this area. And then that's going to be a delightful in your heart, and that's going to be your desire. Amen. So I started serving the Lord, and I was really getting into it, and I was laboring for the Lord with those teenagers. And whew, I remember singing for me, sitting on that stuff. I remember all this stuff, okay? Kendra she was in my youth group just about this long, and she would come in there and sing on Wednesday nights. And she's got a wonderful voice, by the way. I was telling you that. Okay, and then so she would sing. The youth started coming, and 6 months go down the road, and still don't have a youth pastor. Now, let's just tie the rest of my life in this, okay? Let me just tie the rest of my life. So I really started doing things that God wanted me to do, and I started doing the things, and every time the doors was open, I was there. And how can I help build this, and what can I do to do that? And it was great. And then I ran into some more verses. Look at John chapter 4. Go to John chapter 4 with me. John chapter 4, verses 30 through 38. Give you a little bit of a heads up here, just what's going on. Verse 30 says, they went out of the city. And let's talk about disciples of Jesus. They're going out of the city to get away from everybody. You know, just that time to rest and relax. Because listen to me, your pastor and your leaders within the church, they need time to refocus. Okay? So don't get mad. Well, I went there and the pastor wasn't there. And, you know, other guys are pretty good preachers, but it just wasn't the same. They didn't have the funny jokes. Pastor needs time. I got all kinds of jokes. I think they're all funny, but most of them aren't. And most of you guys laugh at me. I think you're kind of, well, we're just being nice. Anyway, here's what happens. They went out of the city and were coming to him. So they went out of the city and people said, we're coming to him. They were still attracted to Jesus. Wherever he was going. You try to get away, Jesus? You want some fresh stuff? Hey, too bad. We're coming after you. And so go to verse 31. Meanwhile, the disciples were urging him, saying, Rabbi, eat. Jesus, really, you need to eat. You got to take care of yourself. Verse 32. But he said to them, I have food to eat that you do not know about. So the disciples saying to one another, no one brought him anything to eat, did he? I can see, Peter, did you bring something? You tried to brown nose him. Did you bring something? You see what I'm saying? It's like, no, I didn't bring anything. How about Matthew? Well, you know, you tax collector guys. Okay, no. And then it says, verse 34, Jesus said to them, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and to accomplish his work. Do you not say, there are yet 4 months, and then comes the harvest? Behold, I say to you, lift up your eyes, and look. Look on the fields, they are ripe for the harvest. Let me pause this for a second. Kind of think in my mind, Jesus kind of slips away. A lot of times he'd go to the mountains to pray. He'd go up and he'd pray. And the disciples coming with him. It's 4 months before the harvest comes. And so they know by the clockwork, just like our farmers around here, you know corn's got to be knee-high by 4th of July, right? It's got to be that high in order for it to be a good time. And then we know that it's going to start being harvested in October, right around, October time frame. So what happens is we know this, and so he's talking to his disciples, says, you guys know the time when things got to be harvested. I'm going to tell you right now, look. And I just kind of imagine that all of them look out there and they see all these people just coming to him. They see him coming to Jesus, and he says, I'm telling you that the fields are ripe for the harvest now. The fields are ripe for the harvest now. Let's go to verse 36. Already he who reaps is receiving wages and is gathering fruit for life eternal, so that he who sows and he who reaps may rejoice together. For in this case, the saying is true, one sows, another reaps. I sent you to reap that for which you have not labored. Others have labored, and you have entered into their labor. You see, I started thinking about things, and I started thinking, okay, you know what? I really need to delight myself in the Lord and do his work, because that's what really matters. Remember Psalm 37:4? Put that back up there for me. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you desires of your heart. And so I started delighting myself in the Lord, and man, I just felt like I felt like I was accomplishing things. I felt like I was doing things. And so 6 months later, things start to unwind. So I'm going back and forth in my life, and this is what happens. We had Valerie, just the sweetest girl, I mean to tell you. Lovely girl. She's so pretty. My goodness. She is going to make someone a wonderful husband one day. She gets if you're visiting, it just comes out, okay? She is the girl and a lovely lady. She's going to be a wife to someone. Don't judge her, okay? So we started praying about having another child. Trisha already had a miscarriage after Valerie. And so we started praying about having children. And the boys turn 18 tomorrow. Tuesday. Tomorrow's Monday, Tuesday. Right, yeah, today's Sunday. So they turned 18 on them. So I've been 36 years old. 36 years old. Plant manager. And we started praying. And I kept a prayer journal. If you don't have a prayer journal, you really need to write down your prayers. Because here's for one reason. You can go back in your prayer journal and see how God answers prayer. It could be yes. It could be no. It could be not now, but over here. And so I had this prayer journal, and guess what? We were serving the youth, and I had this prayer journal, and I wrote this thing down, and this is what I said. I said, God, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I feel like you called me into the ministry when I was 16 years old. Now I'm 36, right? 20 years went by. I'm 36, God. You know me. I'm a big scaredy cat. I'm afraid to take the leap of faith. You know, you hear other people say, hey, you got to take a leap of faith. Let go, let God. I'm like, I can't let go. And so I was like, God, and I wrote this down. God, if you really want me to go into the ministry, I'm asking for a sign that I can't say it's coincidence, I can't say it's happenstance, or yeah, I can explain it away. God, you're going to have to tell me and show me, almost grab me by the shoulder and say, here's your sign, Tony, go into the ministry. You know, why do I want it? Because I was scared. God likes money. And so I wrote this thing down, and I closed it up and put it down. 36 years old. The company I was working for was fantastic. Man, when I started out as plant manager, we were doing about $2 million a year. In 7 years, we're doing over $50 million. And we went from one shift to 3 shifts. And things were just going like clockwork. I mean, I could go in and then get on my motorcycle and just make sure everybody's there and then ride. And then come back at lunchtime and things were going great. Tricia gets pregnant. Woo! She has to go get her first ultrasound. And something happened, but I couldn't be there. There was some reason I needed to be at the plant. And I said, well, hey, when you go get your ultrasound, give me a call. Give me a call, please. And so she calls me. Secretary, hey, Tony, your wife's online, whatever it was. And, so I was waiting for this phone call. I run into my office, pick up my phone, pick it up, and she goes, I just had an ultrasound. You need to sit down. I said, no, I don't need to sit down, but there's 2 of them and they're in. She goes, yes, there's 2. How did you know? I said, I'll show you when I get home. So things are going fantastic at work. And I get home that night, and the whole thing I'm thinking is, oh boy. Oh. Woo! Twins. said, God, I'm so scared to go into the ministry. And you know it because you created me. And God, I'm asking for a sign that can't be explained away, that only you can make happen. God, let Trisha get pregnant. Let it be twin boys.
Yeah, I didn't think it was funny.
She goes, you said that? I said, yeah. And 7 months in, she goes, don't ever use me as a sign again. She's only 5'2". She was, but don't judge Sabrina. Don't. So she, the last month they put her on bed rest, and that's like telling that redhead back there, would you just be quiet? That don't work either. Okay. So anyway, the love of my life, don't judge her. I could say that. I'll pay for it later. But anyway, at 7 months, she goes, They didn't have nowhere to go. So guess what? Tricia and I sitting at a shelter house at the church. And the chairman of the personnel committee comes up to us. It was kind of backwards, you know? Because they'd already told me no 6 months earlier. He goes, hey, we were kind of wondering, the personnel committee was wondering if you still felt called to be the youth pastor of the church. And I said, God has never taken, this is our answer. I said, God has never taken away calling. Even though you guys didn't think I was the person, I believe I'm still the man. And that's why we are going to continue to do what we feel God wants us to do until He gives us other orders. He goes, well, I think we're ready to give you the job. I said, really? I said, okay, let's talk about it. And so I said I would take the position. I had no idea what it said. I didn't care. Delight yourself in the Lord, He will give you desires of heart. I knew that if I was doing what God wanted me to do, that He would provide. I'll never forget the evening. My dad sitting on this side, my father-in-law sitting on this side, and I had the courage to tell him, I'm going to become the youth pastor. Now my father-in-law looks at me and goes, I think you're nuts. You got a fantastic job. Why would anybody walk away from that? I mean, why would you do it? Dad goes, are you sure, son? We need to really pray about this. Right? And Mom's going, he's going to starve to death. But anyway, so, you know, I told you I made 6 figures. I took a job with no benefits, making $47,200. No health insurance. Twins on the way. And I'm going to tell the story here in a few months, but one son was born with left lip and power. He's had 9 surgeries. Now, did you hear me say no insurance? Here we go, God. I was youth pastor for 7 years. Started sowing what really mattered. I started laboring for what really mattered. And in 7 years, the youth group went from like 15 to 30 people to I was running over 100 and some people, teenagers. In 7 years, we went to 7 different mission trips all up and down the East Coast. I've been to Brunswick, Georgia with teenagers running all over the place. doing beach ministry there in Brunswick, Georgia, Jekyll Island, if you've never been to some of those places. And then we did inner city. And inner city, you want to talk about funny. You bring a bunch of redneck white people to inner city, Georgia. They thought we were funny. Been to Lewis Beach, Delaware. Been to Long Island, New York. In over 7 years, listen to this, 7 years, we led over 700 people to the Lord. 700 people to the Lord. Each one of my teams knew how to lead someone to the Lord. They knew how to tell someone about Jesus. And we started focusing on what really mattered. We started focusing on what to labor on. And I can't tell you how many things God did for us. I mean, it was just amazing what God was doing for us. We never had our electric turned off. We ate good. I mean, God took care of us, leading that. Because we started delighting ourselves in the Lord, and He gave us the desires of our heart. And then the last mission trip, we were supposed to be in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and plans fell through the church. We couldn't stay to church. And so we canceled that, and we stayed and did a mission trip here in Chillicothe. Had a thriving youth ministry. Bob, Betty, and I probably had the biggest youth ministries in Chillicothe. And after that mission trip, I said, Trish and I had already been talking about this. I said, hey, Dad, I think God wants me to plant a church. Where at? Chillicothe. He goes, are you nuts? Really? You want to lead a church where you've got huge youth ministry? At the time, I believe it or not, as a youth pastor, I was making over $70,000. Didn't have a really care in the world. God was just taking care of everything. And so I stepped out in faith, and I walked away from a thriving youth ministry. I seen teenagers cry. I still have some teenagers that are mad at me and still won't talk to me because they took it personal that I left them. I want to ask you, and this is not in my message, I'm just going to ask you, do me a favor. If I baptized you in this church, would you stand up for me? Guess what? This is what you read. This is what I said. It'll be 11 years in November, Mark, and we baptized somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 and 25 each year. Some of those people come here and get saved, and they go to another church and get involved in that. And I have no problem with that. In fact, God will move people from one church to another and get them to where He wants them to be. But He used this church to sow seed. He used this church at times to harvest the seed. But it all starts out by saying, what am I laboring for? What's most important in my life? What do I need to be doing, God? Because I need to get in your will. Because then my desires start changing and that becomes His desires for my life. So I'm going to close with some questions. Because we are a church for the unchurched. We really are a church for the unchurched. And, that can be challenging at times. And, here's some things I think. First question. Let me give you this first question. That's on the top. Number one. Let's start right there. Let's start right there. Are you delighting yourself in the Lord? talk about worship, it was good just to hear people sing. Okay, our musicians are the best, but it was great to see people worship. I looked over here and I see at one moment all hands are raised up. I'm like, praise the Lord. They're not afraid to worship God. So are you delighting yourself in the Lord? Or is it like, oh, it's Sunday, I gotta go to church. My wife's gonna drag me there. My parents, I told everybody I had that drug problem when I was a kid. I got drugged to church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. I mean, it was like, please. We didn't have a youth group then. We didn't have children's church then. We had sleep during church then. And I would sleep, and I tried to get out of arm reach of Dad. I kind of measured that arm because I would sleep, and we had them old wooden pews, remember? I'd knock that's why I don't have any hair back there. I'd knock all them follicles out by sleeping and snoring. But he would also do this. I don't know how he does it, but he'd take that thumb and he'd go. And I'll be honest with you, teenager, I didn't really want to go to church. But your parents made you do your homework, didn't they? They make you brush your teeth. When you get older, they make you take baths, boys. That smell good stick, They make you do that, but we don't make it come to church. We got some priorities wrong. We need to drag them to church. You're going to, and you're going to like it. Bring them anyway. Tell them you're praying for them. Delight yourself in the Lord. Next question. Number 2. What are you laboring for? Is it worth it? Now, as a young Christian, I talk about this a lot. When I was younger, I'd work all the overtime they had. I mean, you tell me, this is what I thought. Hey, overtime means time and a half. You work on Sunday, double time. Ooh, well, I tell you what, let me work a lot of Sundays, you know what I'm talking about? And it's like, I was losing my family. I didn't realize it. Men, I'm going to speak for all of you, but I'm right. We don't really care where our wives are in that house. We just want them there. They might be in another room. You might be in another room, and just to know that, hey, they're here. Tricia and I, we sat a lot of times in chairs across the room from each other, and we might not say very much. I'm kind of hooked on solitaire on my phone. I play solitaire. I'm at level 95. That's awesome. She does that work thing, where you go from spell to the crossword to. So we could be there for hours just enjoying each other's company. I send her a text every once in a while. Hey, you in the kitchen? Can you bring me out something? I don't. I'm just kidding. Put that. Hey, what you're laboring for, is it worth it? Solomon said it's all vanity. If I'm working for possessions, if I'm working for a house, if I'm working for the money, guess what? You could be like Mr. Johnson. He worked so hard for that company. Do you know what happened? I'm just going to tell you what happened. Daughter was going to Boston. Okay? She was going to college in Boston. She didn't really want anything to do with the business. And her son, he didn't want anything to do with the business. So they put it into a trust, and the business went. Everything he worked for, gone. They sold it for pennies on the dollar. Is it worth it? Do you see all those people who stood up in this room? You know what that means to me? That means it's worth it. Next question. What are you doing for the Lord? What are you doing for the Lord? Because I'm going to tell you what, once we trust Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, it doesn't say you've made it finally, you're good to go. It says get busy and do God's work. There ought to be something you ought to be involved in. You need to be doing something for Him. Go, you have been given the Great Commission. Go ye therefore. That means go do it. Teaching them to observe all things. Number 4. What labor are you doing for the Lord in this church? If you're a member in this church and you're sitting on the sidelines, we need to talk. Okay? I'm a firm believer. I don't care if you're an usher. I don't care if you're not you're opening the door up for people today. I don't care if you're picking up the lint or taking the hair rollers and running a vacuum. I don't care, but you need to be doing something for the Lord, because you will start delighting yourself in that, and you start looking forward to it. It's like, hey, I want to be a part of that church. I feel like I'm doing something. I'm fighting labor, and I feel good about it. Do something for the Lord in your local church. If you're not a part of this church, get involved in a church and start serving the Lord somewhere. Number 5, last question. If you were to die, if you were going to die today, what would people say about you? Well, that's a pretty good athlete. Hey, they made the best pie, the best cookies. They kept their house immaculate. Hey, they had some wonderful flowers. They just seem to know a little bit about everything. In fact, if I went on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they'd be one of my lifelines. Hey, let me tell you what. You know what I hope? You know what I hope they say about you? I'll tell you what. Great guy. But he really loved the Lord. I tell you what. Just seemed like he had a smile on his face. So he'd get mad every once in a while and throw batteries. But, you know, hey, he always cared about me. Told me about Jesus. More importantly, he lived it. What are you laboring for? I pray that you are laboring for the Lord. We're going to give a hymn invitation in a minute, and I'm just going to tell you what. If you do not know Jesus Christ, today you can. You step out from the floor and say, hey, I want to trust Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I want to be a believer. However you want to say it. We'll have someone walk you to another room, show you what God's Word says. Let you make that decision. Maybe you're looking for a church home. Guess what? We would love to have you be a part of this church, or you can serve the Lord right here, because we are firm believers that you ought to be doing something. We'll never put you in a spot that you cannot fulfill. If you do, you say, hey, that's too much for me. Then step out. We'll find something else for you to do. Gary'd love to have you greet people at the door. We'd love to have you be a part of the ushers women groups. Okay? We got other things. We got all kinds of opportunities in the children's department. Well, I don't like children. I've already had. Guess what? They're growing like crazy. We can use you in there. Delight yourself in the Lord. Well, I ain't going to delight myself in that. Hey, it really ain't that bad. Just ask Chad. He survived. He's scared. He's scared to death every month, but he goes in there. Big bad Chad. I'll tell him. Chicken. He goes in there. Did you just say that? He goes, it's a blessing, Mom. Put him on for two times a month. It's double a blessing. I'm just kidding. Just a reasonable. Please don't. Hey, if you want to be a part of this church, you can come forward and say, hey, we want to be a part of this church. walk you to another room, ask you some questions, fill out some paperwork. It's that easy. Every note played, every word sang, every verse we read is to get to this point right here. For you to do business with God. So let's pray. Father God,